Hi guys, welcome to Panthera Podcast. As you guys all know that we are a modeling agency, but also we have a tiny community that keeps growing every single day. We talk about acting, we talk about modeling, we talk about skincare, you name it. And today is extra special because it's our first podcast and you guys are going to get to know us a tad personal. Hi guys, my name is Farida Yusuf and I will be hosting today's podcast. I'm a model, freelance marketer, and when I go home, I'm actually a mom. Today we have this amazing bunch who's going to talk about self-care. We have Natalie, Vishmi, and Harish. Guys, can you tell me a bit about yourselves? Natalie, Harish, someone?
I model at Panthera, and I also do my own business. And
Okay.
I used to be a national player. I went through a recent injury, so
Oh.
that's my
What
right
was
now.
the injury?
Yeah, I'm doing rehab now. I
Okay.
kind of tore my ACL recently.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's very
So
bad.
yeah,
That's really bad.
that's about me.
Yeah, and Vishmi?
I work as a creative director and legal consultant at Panthera. I also do like a couple of things, like I do styling, also designing. I got into it recently.
Nice.
So yeah, I like to do a bit of everything.
Lovely. And Natalie?
So I do psychological counselings. So
Yeah.
I counsel people also at Panthera if it's
Yeah.
needed, or the models, or
Yeah.
anybody who
That's
needs
amazing that Panthera actually has
Yes.
that. It kind of helps with every day, like your day-to-day, whatever you're doing, your work stress to everything, and then you can actually come and do your own thing.
And I'm
That's-
also a nurse specialized in pediatrics as
Oh,
well as an
lovely.
energetic therapist. So the point of my life is all about helping people in different ways.
That's
yeah.
amazing. Guys, if you had like 3 words, just tell me 3 words about your personality. Define yourself in 3 words. What would it be?
I would say dedicated, passionate, and hardworking.
Nice.
I'd say I'm honest and I'm driven, ambitious, and also I'm empathetic. Yeah.
For me, would be caring, compassionate, and helpful.
That's lovely. Everyone needs to be a little bit helpful. So today's topic, guys, is self-care. And what do you think self-care means to you? Because for me personally, it's I need it. It's good for my mental health, to everything. But in your words, what is self-care? Because I think everyone needs it. Sometimes you just tend to neglect it. But can I just know what you guys think about what self-care is?
As for me, self-care,
Yeah.
I'd say there's a physical aspect as well as a mental aspect to it.
Of course.
So as much as you take care of your body, health and hygiene, it's really important that you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you are all you've left with. You are
That's
born
true.
alone,
Of
you
course.
die alone. So that's something I firmly believe you have to, before anyone else, to take care of others also. You have to put yourself first. So it's a mental and a physical element for me.
Nice. Harish, what would you think?
So talking about self-care, I would just go back to my injury again.
Yeah.
And then going through that tough time, I thought it was going to be more physical for me
Yeah.
to like come back, do my rehab, work out every day. But
Yeah.
for me, it was more mental.
Of course, because you're so used to that
Yeah,
sport.
like
Oh.
for me to like even get up and go to the washroom, I had
Yeah.
my mom and my sister had to like carry
Oh
me
my
to the
God.
washroom.
Yeah.
So I know it was obviously physical, but it was more
Yeah.
mentally
Kind
on
of
how
brings you
I'm
down,
gonna
no?
come back. How am I gonna play the sport again? So
Yeah.
it was. I would say it's more mental for me personally.
Nice. And Natalie?
Well, I think there's different aspect about self-care. We have the side of personal hygiene,
Yes.
about how we present ourselves,
Yeah.
hair, shower,
Yeah.
how we dress
Of course,
ourselves
yeah.
and things like that. Then there's a other aspect which is more like taking care of your body, what you put in your body, like food. So we always say eat healthy. I think that's fine, but sometimes it's okay to have
like basically everything you eat, you need to be also careful what you put into your body.
Yes, but it's okay to sometimes have a pizza.
It's okay to just binge a little bit.
Hamburger. I mean,
yeah.
we need to enjoy life also.
Yeah.
And I think the third would be like, of course, to exercise, but also mostly to take time for yourself, like take time every day to either go for a walk, listen to music, do some meditation. And I think there's another aspect which people don't really think a lot about when it's self-care or what we call self-love. It's about boundaries.
Definitely.
We should all define our boundaries, and other people should respect our boundaries, but often other people don't respect our boundaries.
Yeah, that's when you're kind of selective with who you spend time with.
Yeah, but sometimes, when we're young, we're a bit naive, we don't know how things go, so when our boundaries are not respected, then it's actually we don't, and we let them do, then it's we lose ourselves, like we don't self-love. So it's a very difficult thing to define boundaries, and but it's important even as we grow to try to know what is your boundaries, and other people should respect that. And if you're being respected and you respect yourself within your boundaries, then that is self-love or self-care. That's another aspect sometimes we don't think about.
I personally I think when I was younger, I just thought it's just physically me taking care of myself. I really didn't pay attention to boundaries and stuff, like of course, we're also at that age kind of finding out who we are, personalities, what we like, what we don't like. And I think eventually now I kind of know my boundaries, and I'm just like, okay, my mental peace is number one. I can't be stressed on anything because I need to wake up, I have things to do, and like you're adulting really hard. So I think mental peace when it comes to self-care is a very big priority. I think all of you would agree on that.
Yeah, in terms of boundaries, like who you let in like to your life,
inner circle, basically.
Say like whoever you're surrounding either makes or break you.
That's
so
true.
Like I always have conversations with Natalie. Say for an instance, it's always good to create
talk
boundaries.
about it, yes.
And when you talk about like yourself or something you're concerned of, if it's affiliated with your future, it's always good to take advice from someone who's ready to help with a pure heart. So when I talk about myself, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Sometimes I feel jealous, or sometimes I feel sad, I feel insecure. My go-to person would be Natalie. Because more than my family, I'd say, she's a person who knows how to understand me and direct me in the proper way. So like creating those healthy boundaries, it includes who you accept in your space also.
That is true.
Yeah.
I think that's like, when you're younger though, you don't really notice that, you just
when
try to
you're young,
entertain and make more friends and like just be cool with everyone, as long as you're like popular kid, you're fine, you're sorted. But then I think the older you get, you start to realize that I'd rather stay in solitude than actually go making more friends. So guys, like I was saying, like we invest so much of time, right, on the way we look, fitness, our mental health, everything, right? Like I personally would like to know, like if you guys, like how long do you invest on it? Like, okay, let's say it's a routine, it's your AM, PM routine about like how you take care of your skin and all of that stuff, right? So how much time do you invest on that? Like for me, I work out. So then for me, my morning routine is basically I go like do my whole like face whatever, and then I make sure I at least allocate 2 hours of the day where I go work out because for me it's kind of like a stress release when I work out, and then when I come back home I can handle all my house things and my work things to everything. So when it comes to time and money, like how much of that effort would you put in to take care of yourself?
I think it's quite subjective to each and everybody.
Yes, of course.
Say I might not feel comfortable wearing like a pair of fake lashes or extensions.
Yes.
Or like, so how I look at it is like, I don't need them.
Yeah.
I try to be as natural as possible.
Okay.
So in terms of expenses, when it comes to beauty, I'll go and get my eyebrows done.
Yeah.
I'll just like do like a cleanup once in a while.
Yeah.
I love to get my nails done.
Yeah.
So because I use my hands a lot.
I can't do that because
Yeah.
I'm always cooking. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
cook
like, it's
too.
pointless.
So what I do is,
Yeah, but I keep chipping them. So
you
I'm
have
just
to
like,
wear gloves.
Yeah, I only wear the gloves when I'm eating.
Yeah.
Like,
So I love getting my nails done. So when I get my nails done, I feel like, oh, I'm ready to face the world. I'm typing a lot, like using my nails. I cook. I do a lot of things. So for me, self-care is pretty much getting my eyebrows done.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll like color my hair. So I colored my hair after like 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
I had
So it's very subjective, I'd say. Say if you feel comfortable wearing lashes or like fake nails, go for it. That's
course,
also self-love.
Yeah, of course. It's how
very
you treat yourself,
subjective to
right?
each other.
So it's again subjective there.
It's very subjective to each other.
Of course.
So for me, there are phases. To be honest, I go through phases.
Of
Sometimes
course.
I'm like a full-on like gym girl, right?
Yeah.
So I'll eat healthy, blah blah
Yeah.
blah, all
For
that.
maximum like 5 days. And
My God, yeah. Stop it.
as far as we know her, it's maximum 5 days.
Just a
and it's,
phrase.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, say like I travel 1 hour to work, right? So and then I come back, and by the time
But
I
also
come back,
it's
I'm
your
quite
like time
exhausted.
schedule, right?
Yeah, it depends. Not everybody has the free.
See.
I'll just.
Yeah, not everybody has time like you. Okay. So anyway,
No
yeah.
voice. You have no voice. But as a guy, like tell me, because I barely know this. Like, how do you guys take care of yourself? If it's your skin, to like, do you guys have a routine? Like, apart from like all the hairdos you guys do and all the face trimming and stuff.
Yeah, so again, it was different before my injury and after the injury.
Yeah.
So I obviously had a routine before my injury,
Yeah.
like working out in the morning,
Of
work,
course.
and then practice again.
Yeah.
So my self-care for me is my hair and beard, basically. And however said and done, I have to get a workout in. So workout and my hair and my beard. So like weekly,
Okay.
if my hair grows like a bit, and then I would feel weird.
You're
because
just like, oh no.
me feeling good about myself
Yeah.
would be like, okay, I need a haircut.
Yeah.
Trim my beard. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Natalie?
Yeah, for me, I think in a way, I realized lately that I should take more time for self-care because I'm busy with so many different things.
Of course.
So like, I think for me, if I can put in, like at least 30 minutes, like yoga, stretching in the morning, a bit of meditation, or just go for like 45 minutes walk in the morning or end of afternoon. So it all depends on my day, how it goes. I do not spend much money on nails or hair or things like that. Like you see, I have my curly hair. It's natural.
I like the curls.
Yeah,
You're
it's
naturally
gorgeous.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do much, just cut sometimes the ends, and sometimes I like to go also to do an eyebrow, have a nice body massage also, like a deep
God.
tissue massage. That's very also relaxing. So, but I think also sometimes some people feel they need to do more, like you were talking about artificial eyelashes and all this. And lately, a friend of mine who was coming from Europe, she said all the young girls now are putting
like a trend, right?
Yeah.
It's a trend, like false eyelashes.
Yeah.
They do a lot of already, like treatment on themselves.
Like
improve their
Botox
nose and all this.
Yeah.
And they're just 20. Then
You don't even need it at that age because
so I
your
think
skin.
we need to be careful not to go too far, and people should just know that what
I
keeps
think
self-care also very basic. You know?
And even the society has like unrealistic expectations.
That's so very true.
Say now, one might call like fully done person, like say for an instance, hair, eyebrows, make like everything, eyelashes, perfect. So that's
how
what
they
from the
perceive,
social media, or like what they hear, what they see, that's what they see. So it's become a trend. So for us, when we were schooling, we couldn't even like wax our legs
My
or
God,
anything.
no.
If
That
you
was a
even if you
complete
wax your
no-no.
unibrow, you'll get caught, and you can't layer your hair.
Yeah.
You can't do
It's
anything.
Like, it was more like school rules, no?
School
Like you can't
rules.
layer your hair and stuff.
Yeah. So
like, broke
it's
some of them.
Yeah, I think it's now like with the trends and everything. Now I think kids these days have more freedom. So,
But kids are not really kids also because they don't get to really experience like the silly things that we did as kids, because now they have this expectation where they have to just level up.
Yeah.
Otherwise they might not be accepted.
Yeah.
Or they would be cornered, or like they're not good enough in something, and I think that breaks their self-esteem as well, right?
Yeah, it's like this cringy teen days are not there anymore for anyone.
That's
once you're
a
a kid, and then boom, you're an adult.
No, the problem with this generation is they just want to live for other people. They don't want to do it for themselves.
I know, exactly.
Just because it's a trend, they would go out, okay, I'm doing this, I'm getting this.
Yeah.
And I don't think
they don't
that's
really
how
think, is this good for me? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Or they're not allowed to be who they want also.
Yeah, I know, right?
Parents may have expectations saying, I want you to be this, I want you to do that, I want you to do these sports. But we should ask more the child, what do you feel like doing? Sometimes we need to motivate them.
Yes,
or
of course.
Introduce them to new things. But if the child keeps doing something they don't want to do just for the others, then at the end when they become young adults, they don't know who they are also.
Yeah. And so my 10-year-old, Natalie, he's like I'm a very sporty person, but my 10-year-old, like, he's more into like science and like stuff like that. So like, I used to tell him, okay, baby, maybe you do some basketball, this, that, and like encourage him with my sports. But like, I noticed over the years, he wasn't really liking it. But eventually, I had this conversation with him and I was like, baby, what do you like? Like, what do you like to do? And then he would say something else. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm sorry I made you do this. And then I would just let him continue with whatever he likes. I think everyone should have that approach. And at least even if you're younger, someone older in your family should just like be open about talking these things where your self-esteem doesn't really break.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's so much of potential in kids to young adults to everyone where they could just accomplish so much of things. But I feel like just because of the negligence of not being accepted for what they like, they could just totally lose what they could also. Exactly.
Pretty much self-care is self-love.
Exactly.
I think it should start from your family.
Of course.
So when you are always pressured, okay, do this, do that, and
There's
when they
expectations
don't see your true potential, then you end up doing things you don't like.
Yeah.
And then you are going to miserably fail. And
Of
wonder,
course.
oh my God, what am I doing with my life, you know?
Like,
So,
for me, it was
yeah.
like, you need to become a doctor, so study science,
Asian
right? And
parents are
bio.
always
Yes,
like
oh my God. And then I was like, I tried it for one term. I knew I was going to flunk it. I was just like, Mama, I can't do this. I just completely jumped subjects. And I managed to somehow finish like my master's in it. But I'm right now working in a completely different environment, which is not marketing. Sometimes I do stuff because I know the theoretical knowledge of it. But like now I'm more into like creative direction and like it's very different in comparison to what you study.
Yeah.
So I think if people pay attention to that little tiny voice inside that says, then you could go really far, right, guys?
If you do what you love and if you do it properly, I think that's also self-love. That's like treating yourself the right way without like abiding by like others and the society norms of society, I guess.
Okay.
And sometimes we define people by their jobs. There's so much more to the person.
Of course.
And I think sometimes, okay, you study to become, let's say, a doctor or a carpenter, an electrician, right? But it doesn't mean that maybe 10 or 15 years later you will be something else.
Exactly.
Like I started as a nurse, but then I did counseling, then energetic therapist, and so many other things. So it's like life is not just one thing.
Yes.
So like, you know, I have 3 daughters. So I always say when a door closes, so many are open
Of
there.
course.
So always keep like an open mind. And also if you keep trying to do something which doesn't work for you, then it's probably not meant for you. So it kind of pushes
just
you.
forcing to.
You need to look in another way. Even if you think,
I'm going to
really
fail.
want
It's
this.
okay. You fail, but you will
You
still.
can fail. I mean, life is
Yes.
about failure and success. And
Yeah.
a lot of people who are very successful since they're children in school and all this, if one day studently they fail at an exam or they're unable, they just crash. They become depressive. Their self is. So it's better in life to go through obstacles and difficulties because you learn how to cope when this is happening, and this is how life is. It's like I say, waves, ups and downs. So the best is to to know how to manage
handle all these
things,
situations while you go through all the ups and downs. That's true. So when we talk about self-care, guys, like, has it like affected you if you haven't really paid attention to yourself about self-care? Has it like really put you down? Are there any situations where you kind of neglected your routine of things that you used to do? When you like, is there any experiences that you guys have had?
Yeah, of course. Because just the example again. Let's say I don't cut my hair or don't put that effort to go to the salon.
Yeah.
I look at myself and then, you know, sometimes you feel bad about yourself. Why am I can be better. Why do I have to stay down? So I feel like it's yet again more mental. Like you can look better. Why not? Why not do it? Right?
Yeah.
So it does, like when let's again, my injury, right? I obviously couldn't go to the salon, or I couldn't work out. I was out of shape and all that, still working on it. So like some days I was thinking to myself, okay, am I still gonna get back to the sport? Am I always gonna be like this? But I fought. I came back, and then it's about to answer your question.
It's basically about, getting back on your feet. But then that process there, that stagnant process after you stop. And you start questioning yourself about yourself.
And I feel like everyone goes through that phase. Obviously, like everyone won't be like,
everyone does. Like I've had years where I've just been amazingly fit, and then like 1 year I'm down with some flu or some sickness, and I'm down for months. And then from there, for me to get up and go, I'm just like lazy.
So I feel like that stop we have, that
you need to make it consistent.
That getting up again is where, you're fighting for yourself. Because if we wanted to, we would have just given up already. Right? But we fought. We know we're down again, but we've come. We can come again.
That awareness there itself should be there. Otherwise, you're just stagnant forever, I guess, on your self-care routine. Okay, guys. We've had a small chat and we're going to take a break. And we'll be back soon.
If you guys like our content,
and if you like what you saw,
hit the subscribe button.
Hit it.
We'll do it again. I did